Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a bunch of different attachments I have. So I just have these here for a thumbnail, but they might be used later on in demonstration. So first things first, some of these guys I'm going to show with parts that they kind of use in the show, or some of them I might just distribute with the other people. Essentially, I'm going to be going through this whole bin that I have here, which is all full of attachments and all kinds of other random stuff. I'm going to grab two things off my shelf really quick. Okay. So I guess we'll start out. I don't remember names. I haven't filmed a video in a while. This is the first new video I've filmed. The last two uploads were just videos I never posted. We have on Lightning Drossian from the show this magazine that he used. It's a rapid fire magazine. Essentially, you can put 4 marbles in here, and then say you're in a match and you're able to hold it with one hand with this grip, which also Lightning Finn has. Say there's some marbles on the floor, you can easily take this and just pick them up, and then when you push this down in here, they just fall out into the magazine. But obviously you push this in and it just locks in place like that. So there's that. Might be a longer video. It's definitely going to be a longer video. This magazine here, I'm pretty sure is a tornado mag. This was somewhere in here. I do have. This was a tornado magazine, I believe, which is kind of broken. But Gervais used this in Crossfire, and then he also used this one in Fire Blast. Essentially, it looks like this when it's on. Just lets you hold a lot of marbles. You can see it's pretty large. When you're when you're shooting, you got to spin this a lot, which kind of makes it a pain in the butt. But he is a good rapid fire type. The marbles on the feet make it nice for him to slide around. It's actually very smooth. So there is that. Let's put that off to the side. You have a bunch of your standard Y magazines, which are, I feel like, just the best ones. You can load them quickly. These are like dragon targets. This was for Fire Blast, I believe. They might have actually been in Crossfire in some of the ancient ruins, which I have, I think, 1 or 2 more. But these have the ability to open up, and you can place 3 marbles in them to make them heavier, and then it seals right back up. But I usually don't leave them in there, so that's that. Let's see what else we have here. There's a whole bunch of random stuff. Here's a barrel with a grip. I don't remember the actual name. It came with Cobra here, and it just plugs in like such, and you can hold it like that while you shoot. You can take this off. You don't have to use it. I would definitely say it helps with accuracy, unless if it comes off crooked a little bit, then it's not so effective. And you can also pick this up as a sight like that. So you could kind of line, you can see how that could line up. And then you could also tilt it down a little bit. Sometimes it works better. You can see that's kind of a little better to line it up if you're looking from a higher place. It kind of depends on how you're sitting and how you're holding them. So there's that. More Y magazines. These are just for play. I don't remember the exact name, but the game we play with these is you set up 2 people and they both shoot at these at the same time. And they do spin, so if you hit it wrong, they'll start to spin. But you essentially have to push it past the finish line first. Next up was Draws Roses. I don't remember the actual name. Magazine. So it's 2 Y magazine tops with this. This is special to him in the show. It looks like this while it's on. And it has this cool feature where it'll load all the marbles here. But when you run out, you flip the switch, and the other side of them will run down into them. It does get very top heavy though, especially when it's fully loaded. So that can be kind of a pain. Next is the Scope magazine. You can attach a Y magazine to it. If I can get it off. Just like, wait, I almost had it. Just like that. So, and then you can look through this, and you can kind of see, you can adjust this. Hold on, let me see if I pull this off. Yeah, you can kind of see how there's this sight in there, which that's actually really cool. This is definitely one of my more favorite attachments, even though it's not necessarily super effective. It's just a really cool piece to have. By no means do you have to use it with the Y magazine. I usually just use it as it is, like that. But it would definitely be easier to load with the Y magazine top. Here's another one of those magazines that Lightning Drossian uses. However, this is the variant that came with Dragrin. This has the top tab's broken, but it's still usable. You really mostly need these bottom two, and you can get away with those being broken, but that's what it is there. We looked at that already. Got some more random parts. This is an extra core from Gatling Tank Shell with this cool trigger mechanism. It's essentially a crank, so you can shoot pretty fast, which I can't really show from this angle, but I had a broken one, so I bought another one so I could have parts just in case. What's next? This was a magazine. It is broken. It came with, but was used in the Crossfire by Ricky, I believe. I think Samuro gave it to him. And essentially, this would clip into the back of the head, and you could push down a marble and it would load up through. So I want to see this tab broke off here. If there's a way to fix this somehow. If you guys know any possible fixes, that'd be great. This comes off, but I could just glue that back on there. But that one's fun to use. What's next? We have a bunch of just random targets, all different sizes. These are like big ones. And you can put marbles in all of these too. Bottle targets, normal size targets. So those are fun. Y magazines. Okay, this is a power grip that was used by Bison, First Bison, and essentially his trigger piece, if you don't know, there's no spring, and you're just supposed to, you can see there's no spring in there. You're just supposed to hit this as hard as you can with like essentially a power shot, but you can take this off. There's a little wheel on here, and this slides right on here, and you can kind of hold it like this, and it's supposed to help with power shots. I think it actually does work. It definitely takes getting used to, but if you hold it like this, you can really like put some force behind it. So it definitely works, I would say. Let's see here. Although this trigger, since it doesn't like come back like the rest of them, like that one does, this one you just push it and it stays. It does get like take a little getting used to. Let's see. I have these. I think I'm gonna go over them last. These are just extra arms from Garuburn, which leads me to this guy, which it is Garuburn. I don't remember his specific mode, but these are like this is his rapid fire version, I guess you could say. And when you do emblem charge, you can either pull these back, which is kind of not super easy to do while the trigger's right there, and you're supposed to hit the trigger at the same time. I believe you can also just, yeah, you can lock these out. They kind of like pop into place, and it just like enables emblem charge the whole time. His eyes are all messed up. I might have to take those off, but that's pretty cool. Here's another attachment, the Buster leg. I do have to put the feet pieces back on the ends, but these make for an amazing grip. This is the Assault Core. This was from a random body booster. They also can go down, and they are definitely helpful with stabilization. This guy just, he feels so planted, and like again, if you have these up, it's like, it's a great grip. And then this guy has like a little scope on his head, if you didn't know. It's pretty cool. Here's a power block, which essentially just replaces your normal power block. I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes. And then there's this trigger pad, which this came in a set with Lightning Drossian. This was like a 2-in-1 kind of set. And these have, I I mean, it wouldn't make sense for these to go on Dracian because he already has the tune-up gear on, so I just leave it on this guy. Although you don't really need this because he has Berga's core, and it really has this nice trigger already. But it does have a bit more of a contact patch, so I just leave it on there. Let me see here. Next, I guess this, I don't know if this is more of a tune-up gear. I have the upgraded like heavy metal core, which goes for a lot of money. And if you didn't know, he also has this very cool trigger gimmick here, which is very fun to use. He's pretty powerful too. He has a couple different modes. Not going to go through that this video though. I do have the spike core, which came with ultimate drive Garu burn for his perfect, his perfect mode. This thing's pretty sweet. I've actually never even fired this. It's literally just sat over on my shelf right there, and I have a bunch of them off the shelves for this video. You can see I have lots of stuff around me. But this usually just sits next to ultimate drive Garu burn, which is what I'll go to next. This is the ultimate arm. He has 3 modes. You can fold these like that and then down, and that's how you activate emblems, which is power mode. Control mode, all you have to do, fold these down, flip them out, and that's all it is. It just helps with stabilization. And then rapid fire mode, I don't really feel like putting it in right now, but essentially what you would do, this clips right back on. That always scares me when it comes off. Is you take these 2 trigger pieces from the arms, unclip this, these go onto the arms just like this one is, and you essentially just switch the triggers around, and it's like a loop like Scorpio has. And he's got some like different foot bits and head pieces, stuff like that. So other than, I don't know, I mean, it's pretty effective, but if you can honestly just get away with using the normal Garu burn, which I would like to show. Where'd he go? Tigaloo here can combined with, say, Dragrin, or he could combine with Raidra, and in the show that makes perfect Raidra. So essentially, headpiece comes off, and it plugs in up top here. These face pieces come off, I forget there. You gotta take the arms off. Just pop off like that, and then you pull those, and you can put this off to the side. And this is the same process for, oh my gosh. Oh my god, it'll come to me. So essentially, you just push these on, which I've never actually put on here before, so they might be kind of stiff. Yeah, they are stiff. I'll do it on this guy. Hold on. Drag ring. That's what I was looking for. Okay. This plugs in up here. This plugs in on the foot piece there and there. And then the head pieces slide in the front. I believe these also fit on Assault Dragon, which I have over there. Oh. There. So you get upgraded sight. These don't really do anything, but these legs have rubber bits, and they honestly, if you push down on them, they do help with stabilization, which is always nice. Okay. Let's see, last bit of tune-up gear I have. This is all just parts. This is the original Dragold core. I lost my drive strip. It's in the Smash core, or the heavy Smash core now. But you could just put like a Dracian drag strip or something, strip in there. So that's all of the tune-up gear, really. I have this trigger piece, which is the same as Lightning Dracian, except these arms, which these are all the same. For the sake of the video, I think these will look better. Let's see, where to go? Right over here. So all you would do is this is just 2 arm pieces come off. The chrome ones would probably look pretty good too, actually. Like that. you slide on there and there. Arm bolts go right back in. Be careful with these bolts. They tend to break. Like I feel like this one's about to. There. And you can't really buy them anymore. So then these open actually, and this doesn't really do anything, I believe. I think it's just for looks. But you can't put marbles in those. So when you, actually it does compress it a little bit. Yeah, so when you pull these back, it activates your emblem. And you do have these bottom ones, but it's kind of hard to reach while you're pulling back the top ones. So I mean, I guess you could hold it like that and go, but you're better off just pulling the top ones at that point. It does look pretty cool. I believe this was Magnum Rising Drawcian. These are their chrome variant, which I don't even remember where I got these, but they are pretty cool. And I believe that is everything. Yeah, I think that's all the parts I have. So yeah, that's really all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.